Chapter 6. Working with the Trainee. Anne is walking and explaining the plan again. As they walk by the street, they pass a small building with a sign above them. The slogan read, "Be a Bull." All three of them didn't notice the sign when they are still talking about their plan as they pass through the building, as Anne explained each and every detail with sheer elaboration. The same slogan as the one Anne walked beneath it earlier is printed on a newspaper along with the picture of a kid dressing like a red bull. At the bottom of the newspaper, which has another slogan about the bull kid, the article reads, "We're worried that our son keeps acting like a bull. Who knows what kind of mischief he'll be doing in life?" The newspaper blew by the wind, off the ground, and into the sky, as it flew by crossing a long warehouse. The workers are standing outside the warehouse, huddled up in a big group while having a conversation with each other. The newspaper flying in front of them, passing with the wind. An old New Yorker parks 200 feet near the entrance. A song starts playing called "I'm Gone" by Eddie Parker. Dam gets out of the vehicle. Considering someone who woke up with a hangover and was running very late, with a few unpleasant encounters before and during his journey to work, he looks charming as ever. Wearing sunglasses and his attractive smile, he makes his way towards the group of workers outside the warehouse with long strides, like a panther. As Dam reaches the entrance of the warehouse, he looks at the two workers standing on his right, having a good conversation. Dam moves his head up and walks past the workers from their left side. The workers stop talking and look towards him, with a blank face. Dam encounters two more workers in front of him as he walks towards the warehouse. Dam mouths them, "Hi!" The workers step aside, making room for Dam to pass by them as well. Dam walks ahead, and when he is right in between them, he says, "Thank you." Dam smiles at the workers, yet gain no response from them. When Dam is ahead of them, the workers look at each other with a disgusted look at their faces. The workers get back to what they were doing earlier, and Dam resumes his walk towards the warehouse. A lot of workers are coming up to Dam as he walks past them. One of the workers mutters, "Bite me, creep!" Dam then passes a second worker with a smile, while she mutters, "Eat a dick, sicko!" Dam hears it all, yet ignores as he is habitual of hearing such remarks. The third worker gives Dam the finger with his right hand and walks past him. Despite the responses, Dam still has a smile on his face. Then he sees an old chubby man standing near the entrance. The man is wearing a hard hat and writing down something on his noteboard. Dam goes up to the chubby man, and as soon as he notices Dam, he says, "Well, I guess my phone call finally woke you up. What took you so long, Reach? Having car trouble, your emotions got in your way, getting hit in the stomach while you're getting in your car?" Dam looks at him amused and says, "Sorry, He gasps for air and resumes, "That last one was real, though. But sorry, I'm late, Grudge. I was up all night waiting for someone special to call. Anne, I had a few drinks while waiting." Al looks at Dam with wide eyes as he asks, "Really?" Dam nods and says, "It's the truth." Al cuts the topic and says, "Well, true or not, you got a lot of stuff to do today, Reach. Do you remember what to do today?" Dam tries to remember what he'd heard on the voicemail earlier and counts on his fingers while his left hand scratches the back of his head. Drive the forklift around and work the new guy, truck?" Al comments in his usual bossy smile. "Incompetent moron?" Dam didn't like the comment at all, but refrains himself from saying anything. "You're supposed to drive the forklift, lift some heavy loads, and write a report about the safety procedures about the international trucks. And train the..." Al says as he looks around the place where he is standing. A worker walks by Al and Dam, and Al decides to stop him and inquire about the whereabouts of the new worker. "Pringle, where's the new guy?" Al asks Pringle as he looks around, still searching for him. Pringle immediately responds, "He's inside, sir." "All right, show him to Dam," Al orders Pringle. Pringle nods his head and says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Grudge." Pringle goes inside the warehouse. Al looks at Dam and comes closer to him till he was right in front of his face. "One more screw-up, and I have to let you go for good, So, get inside, drive, right, train, got it? Good, see you inside. Al winks his right eye to Dam and turns around to walk away. Dam sees Al Grudge walking back to the warehouse with frustration. He has no idea how he has been dealing with his bossy ass for so many years. Dam closes his eyes and looks down as he says, "Fucking." His thoughts and sentence are cut short when a new guy makes his way towards Dam. The guy greets him. "Hello?" Dam opens his eyes, lifts his head up, and looks at the new guy. He asks curiously, "Who are you?" The new guy introduces himself. With a straight face, "I'm Airdrie." Dam shrugs and asks, "What are you doing here?" Airdrie responds, "Mr. Grudge said that you have to train me?" Dam asks, "For what?" Airdrie looks like he is in his 20s, and a strictly blue-collar person. He looked at Dam intently and answers, "I don't know. Mr. Grudge just said that Dam Reach will train me of what's to come, whatever that means." Dam looks at him and realizes that he is the new guy he has to train. He looks at Airdrie and feels like he is the kind of a person who doesn't smile much. He takes orders and answers questions. He talks in slow but proper manner, enunciating every word most of the time. Dam says, "Well, let's take a walk to my car then." Dam turns around while Airdrie looks at Dam's back. He finally asks, "Why are we going to your car?" Dam and Airdrie start walking together. Airdrie is walking behind Dam and facing his back. Dam feels his presence close behind him and says, "We're going to a little place called Special Memories for some nice, delicious cold ones." Airdrie looks at Dam's back. The last thing he remembers was Mr. Grudge telling him that the work is mostly indoors, except for driving the forklift around. He decides to clear out the confusion and asks, "Don't we have to go inside and work?" Dam stops and turns his head to the right. Airdrie stops and looks at Dam's face, standing at his left. Looking at the newbie, Dam asks, let me ask you this. Do you like this job?" Airdrie has no idea how to respond to this question, since he hasn't really started working yet. He takes the easy way out and says, "I don't really know. I'm just new here." Dam looks at him incredulously and asks, "If you don't know, then what made you want this job?" Airdrie shrugs and responds, "The money." Dam questions, "Do you need money?" Airdrie gives him a look that says, "Is that even a question?" and says, "Yes." Dam questions back, "Why?" Airdrie seems nervous now as he responds, To support my family." Dam narrows his eyes and asks, "Is that a fact?" Airdrie nods his head and says, "Yes." Dam stops staring at him and moves his gaze towards the ground, then says, "Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you like Mr. Grudge?" Airdrie immediately answers, "No." Dam hides a smirk and asks, "Why is that?" "He's kind of strange," Airdrie shrugs. Dam smiles at him and says, "Well, there you go. Stick with me, kid, and I'll show you the life you wish you had. And I can give you all the money you want." Airdrie contemplates the offer before he drawls, "Sure, if you pay." "I sure can. Now let's go," Dam chuckles. Dam and Airdrie start walking again. This time, they don't stop until they're both standing by Dam's vehicle. Dam opens and sits on the driver's side as Airdrie opens and the passenger side and makes himself comfortable there. Dam and Airdrie simultaneously close the vehicle doors. "Okay, now I need something to wake me up first," says Dam as he looks at the car keys in his hand. Without starting the car, he goes to the gloves compartment and opens it. He quickly grabs a bottle of whiskey and retrieves it from the glove compartment before twisting the cap and opening the bottle. He finally settles on his seat properly and takes a big sip. The satisfaction is apparent at his face as he gulps the liquid down his throat. Airdrie looks at him with concern and can't help but ask, "You think it's all right to be driving under the influence?" Dam looks at Airdrie while still drinking his whiskey. After gulping the entire sip, he asks, "What?" "Oh, if you don't like it, you can drive if you want to." Airdrie is concerned about their safety. Therefore, he looks at Dam with a more positive face for a moment before he says, "Okay." Dam unbuckled his seatbelt as he says, "Okay, let's switch seats then." Airdrie opens the car's door from his side, when suddenly Dam's voice makes his actions come to an abrupt halt. "Whoa! If you want to drive, you can come over to the driver's side." Airdrie looks confused, as he was just about to do that a while back. After a pause, he finally asks, "What?" "Switch. Towards the driver's side." Dam enunciated every word in an attempt to make him understand. Airdrie doesn't get what he meant at first, but suddenly he gets it. He has to switch seats with Dam. Dam is going to be switching seats with Airdrie, and all of this will happen while they're still in the vehicle. Suddenly, the sounds of them struggling fills up inside the car, as both of them try to switch their seats while still being inside. "Ow! Ow! Ow! Ow!" Airdrie says, as his head hits the car's roof. Then his left leg hits the gear. Dam gets hit at various spots, as well as he says, "Ow! Fuck! Watch it!" They finally switch, and Dam is now sitting on the passenger side, comfortably. He looks at Airdrie with a smirk and says, "There! That wasn't so bad, huh?" "Ow!" Airdrie glares at him, still rubbing a spot on his head, which was hit a bit harshly with the car's roof. Airdrie is now sitting on the driver's seat. Dam rolls down the passenger window and shouts out at a guy who is walking near the passenger door, "Hey, you!" Dam points his right index finger to make the guy come over to the vehicle. The guy comes forward and looks at Dam as he says, "If you see Mr. Grudge around, can you please tell him to go fuck himself and shove that international truck in his ass crack?" The guy looks at him weirdly, yet says, "Okay." Dam smiles a hazy smile and says him with gratitude lacing his words, "Okay, thank you." Dam rolls up the window. When the window is rolled up, he takes another sip of whiskey. Airdrie looks at the ignition, then looks up at him and asks, "Do you have the car keys?" Dam looks at Airdrie with narrowed eyes, and after a long pause says, "Be careful not to break it." Dam inserts one of his hands inside his right pant pocket and pulls out the car keys. He holds it up to Airdrie's face. The car keys are in a keychain surrounded with more keys. Airdrie grabs the key from Dam's hand and uses his right hand to put the key into the ignition and stars the engine. The engine is staling, while Airdrie waits for it to come to life. Dam shrugs and says, "Sorry, it does that." Airdrie looks at Dam while still trying to start up the engine. Dam looks at him again, apologetically. It does that in the strangest of time. Airdrie is still trying to start up the engine. After a few more attempts, the engine finally comes to life, and Airdrie moves the column shift to reverse. Dam's vehicle is slowly backing up. Dam says in enthusiasm, "Okay, let's roll in Pardonnez-Majourant."